Have you ever woken up, tried to stretch, and felt like your body saying, "Hold on, not so fast"? Maybe your knees creak when you stand, or your shoulders protest when you reach for a jar on a high shelf. If you're over 60, these little aches and stiffnesses might feel like uninvited guests, making everyday tasks harder than they used to be. But here's the good news. You don't have to let stiff joints slow you down. Today, we're diving into 5 simple, gentle exercises you can do at home to keep your joints flexible and your body moving with ease. These are low-impact, beginner-friendly movements designed for people just like you, people who want to keep gardening, chasing grandkids, or simply feeling good in their own body. I'm going to walk you through each exercise with clear, easy steps and share stories of real people who rediscover their spark through movement. My goal is to leave you feeling understood, inspired, and ready to take small, achievable steps toward a more mobile, joyful life. So, grab a comfy chair, maybe a glass of water or your favorite tea, and let's start this journey together. You're stronger than you know, and your joints are ready to thank you. Let's make today the start of something wonderful. Point 1. Gentle morning stretch for overall flexibility. Let's begin with a gentle morning stretch that wakes up your entire body, loosening those joints that feel tight after a night's rest. This exercise is all about slow, controlled movements to ease stiffness in your shoulders, hips, and spine, perfect for setting a positive tone for your day. Here's how to do it. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, or sit in a sturdy chair if standing feels challenging. Take a deep breath in, and slowly raise your arms above your head, stretching as if you're reaching for clouds, feeling a gentle pull through your sides. Hold for a moment, then lower your arms slowly, exhaling. Next, roll your shoulders in circles, 5 times forward, 5 times backward, keeping it smooth and relaxed like you're loosening up for a gentle dance. Finally, twist your torso side to side, letting your arms swing naturally, as if you're swaying to a soft tune. Do this for about 5 minutes each morning, or even 3 minutes if you're just starting out. If you feel any discomfort, keep movements small and gentle, and always listen to your body. Meet Margaret, a 66-year-old retiree from Australia. After retiring from her teaching career, Margaret noticed her mornings were stiff and sluggish. She missed the days when she and her husband would dance at local community events, twirling to old jazz tunes under fairy lights. The stiffness in her shoulders and hips made her feel like those days were a distant memory. Her daughter, noticing her frustration, suggested a simple morning stretch routine. Margaret was skeptical. She hadn't exercised in years and worried she looked silly or overdo it. But she gave this exact stretch a try, starting with just 3 minutes a day in her living room. At first, raising her arms was tough, and her shoulders felt tight. But after a few weeks, she felt looser, lighter, like her body was waking up. One morning, she put on an old jazz record and found herself swaying, then dancing in her kitchen. Now, she's back to dancing with her grandkids, laughing as they try to keep up with her spins. This stretch is like a warm hug for your joints. It's simple but powerful, helping you start your day with a little more ease and joy. Try this tomorrow morning, maybe right after your coffee or tea. If you have pain, go slow, stop if it hurts, and maybe try it seated. Margaret's story shows that small steps can bring back the activities you love, whether it's dancing, gardening, or just moving without that morning stiffness. To make it fun, play your favorite song while you stretch. It can turn those 5 minutes into a moment of joy. Think about something you'd love to do more easily if your joints felt looser. Maybe it's play with a pet or hanging laundry. Write it down to remind yourself why you're doing this. Margaret found that this routine not only helped her joints, but also lifted her spirits, making her feel like she was reclaiming her younger self. What's one thing you'd love to do with a bit more ease? Give this stretch a try, and let's start building that flexibility together. Point 2. Chair-based leg swings for hip and knee mobility. Your hips and knees are the unsung heroes of your daily life. They power your walks, help you climb stairs, and get you up from a chair. But when they stiffen, those movements can feel like a struggle. This chair-based leg swing is a safe, gentle way to keep them flexible without putting strain on your body. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight and feet flat on the floor. Hold the sides of the chair for balance, then slowly swing one leg forward and back, like a relaxed pendulum, keeping your knees soft and loose. Do 10 swings per leg, then switch. If you're feeling comfortable, add a side-to-side swing, moving your leg gently out and back in like a slow, easy dance move. Aim for 5 minutes, 3 times a week, but even 2 minutes is a great start. If you feel any soreness, keep the swing small and gentle, and stop if it feels uncomfortable. Take Tom. A 70-year-old grandfather from the U.S. Tom loved playing catch with his grandkids in the backyard, tossing a baseball and cheering their throws. But stiff knees made it hard to bend down or move quickly, and he felt like he was letting them down. He worried he'd have to give up those precious moments. A friend at his local senior center suggested chair-based leg swings, saying they'd helped her stay active for longer walks. Tom started doing them in his favorite armchair while watching the evening news. At first, he felt a bit silly, like he was just kicking air. But after a couple weeks, he noticed his knees felt less creaky when he walked to the mailbox. Now, he's back to playing catch, laughing as his grandkids cheer him on. Last month, he even joined them for a short walk to park, something he hadn't done in years. This exercise is perfect because you can do it anywhere, while watching TV, chatting with a friend, or listening to a podcast. Try it this week. Start with 5 swings per leg and build up slowly. If your hips or knees feel sore, keep movement small and always listen to your body. Tom found that these swings not only help his joints, but also gave him confidence to keep up with his grandkids, making those backyard moments even more special. To make it enjoyable, try doing it while listening to a favorite song or show. It can feel like a small ritual. Think about an activity you love. Maybe walking your dog, shopping, or gardening. How could looser hips and knees make it more fun? Write down one activity you'd love to do more easily, and let that be your motivation. Tom's back to being the fun grandpa, and you can find that same spark. What's one thing you'd love to do with more ease? Point 3. Wrist and ankle circles for smaller joints. We often forget about the smaller joints like wrists and ankles, but they're crucial for everyday tasks. Writing a note, chopping vegetables, or walking without stumbling. This simple exercise keeps them limber and ready for action. Sit in a chair or stand, whichever feels better. Start by rotating your wrists in circles, 10 times clockwise, 10 times counterclockwise, keeping it smooth and relaxed like you're stirring a gentle breeze. Then, lift one foot slightly off the ground and rotate your ankle in circles, 10 times each direction, before switching to the other foot. Do this for about 5 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, or even during a quick break in your day. If you feel any discomfort, make the circles smaller and slower and stop if it hurts. Meet Joan, a 68-year-old from the UK. Joan loved knitting blankets for her church's charity drive, spending hours creating colorful patterns for families in need. But wrist stiffness made it painful to hold her needles for long, and her ankles felt tight, making her daily walks less steady. She worried she'd have to give up knitting, which was her way of giving back. Her neighbor, a retired nurse, suggested wrist and ankle circles, saying they were simple but effective. Joan started doing them while watching her favorite evening shows, thinking they were too basic to make a difference. But after a month, she could knit for longer stretches without pain, and her walks felt more confident. She even joined a local walking group, where she made new friends who shared her love of crafting. This exercise is like oiling a rusty hinge. It keeps those small joints moving smoothly, so you can keep doing the things that matter to you. Try it today, maybe during a TV commercial break, or while waiting for your kettle to boil. If you feel any pain, reduce the range of motion, and go slowly. Small circles are just as effective. Joan's back to knitting blankets and walking with friends, and she says it's made her feel younger and more connected. To make it fun, try doing it while listening to music or an audiobook. It can turn a simple exercise into a pleasant ritual. Think about a task you do daily, maybe cooking, gardening, or playing cards. How could limber wrists or ankles make it easier? Write down one task you'd love to do more comfortably, and let that be your goal. Joan found that this exercise not only helped her joints, but also gave her a sense of purpose, knowing her blankets were warming others. What's one thing you'd love to do with less discomfort? Hey, If you're finding these exercises helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more tips like these. And in the comments, tell me, which of these exercises are you excited to try first? And what activity do you want to do more easily? Maybe it's knitting like Joan, playing with grandkids like Tom, or something unique to you. I'd love to hear your story. It might inspire someone else watching. Point 4. Seated spine twist for back and shoulder mobility. A flexible spine and shoulders can make a world of difference, whether you're trying to grab something from a shelf, driving, or just sitting comfortably without that nagging stiffness. The seated spine twist is a gentle way to keep your back loose and your shoulders relaxed. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Place your right hand on your left knee and your left hand behind you on the chair for support. Slowly twist your torso to the left, looking over your shoulder, and hold for 10 seconds, breathing deeply to relax into the stretch. Then switch sides, placing your left hand on your right knee and twisting to the right. Do 5 twists per side twice a week for about 5 minutes total. If you have back issues, keep the twist small and gentle, and stop if it feels uncomfortable. Meet Alan, a 65-year-old from Canada. Alan loved tending his garden, especially his prized roses, which he'd nurtured for years. But back stiffness made bending and twisting painful, and he worried he'd have to give up his favorite hobby. He felt frustrated, like he was losing a part of himself. His physical therapist suggested seated spine twists, explaining they could help without straining his back. Alan started doing them in the morning while listening to his favorite radio show, sitting in his kitchen chair. At first, he could only twist a little without discomfort, but over a few weeks, he felt his back loosen up. Now, he's back to pruning his roses and even started a small gardening club with neighbors, sharing tips over coffee. Last summer, his roses won a local award, and he credits those twists for helping him stay active. This exercise is great because it's easy to fit into your day. Do it while reading, sipping tea, or even chatting on the phone. Try it this week, starting with 3 twists per side, and move at your own pace. If you have back pain, keep the twist gentle and don't push too far. Alan's story shows that small movements can bring back the activities you love, whether it's gardening, cooking, or just moving without that tight feeling. To make it enjoyable, try doing it while listening to a favorite song or podcast. It can feel like a moment of self-care. Think about something you do daily, maybe turning to talk to someone or reaching for a dish. How could a looser back make it easier? Write down one activity you'd love to do more comfortably and let that motivate you. Alan found that this exercise not only helped his mobility, but also gave him pride in his garden and new friendships. What's one thing you'd love to do with a more flexible back? Point 5. Standing or seated arm reaches for shoulder flexibility. Shoulders can get tight from years of carrying bags, reaching for things, or even just sitting for long periods. This standing or seated arm reach keeps them flexible, making tasks like putting on a coat, grabbing a dish from a high shelf, or hugging a loved one feel easier and more natural. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, or sit in a chair with your back straight. Slowly raise one arm straight up, as if pointing to sky, feeling a gentle stretch through your shoulder, then lower it slowly. Next, reach one arm across your body, like you're giving yourself a warm hug, and hold for 10 seconds. Switch sides. Do 10 reaches per arm, 3 times a week, for about 5 minutes. If you feel any discomfort, keep movement small and avoid forcing it. Take Sarah, a 63-year-old from Australia. Sarah loved baking for her family, especially her famous scones, which were a hit at every gathering. But shoulder stiffness made it hard to reach for ingredients on high shelves or stir dough for long. She felt like she was letting her family down, missing those moments of sharing warm scones with her kids and grandkids. A friend suggested arm reaches, and Sarah started doing them while waiting for her tea to brew in the morning. At first, her shoulders felt tight, and she could only reach halfway. But after a few weeks, she could grab the flour from the top shelf without wincing. Now, she's back to baking, sharing scones with neighbors, and even teaching her granddaughter her recipes. Last month, she hosted a small baking party, and the joy of seeing everyone enjoy her treats made her feel alive again. This exercise is simple and can be done anywhere, no equipment needed, just a few minutes of your time. Try it today even for 5 reaches per arm, and keep movements gentle if you feel any discomfort. Sarah found that these reaches not only help her shoulders, but also boosted her confidence in the kitchen, making her feel like she was contributing to her family again. To make it fun, try doing it while listening to music or during a quiet moment in your day. It can feel like a small gift to yourself. Think about a task you do daily, maybe hanging laundry, playing a game, or reaching for a book. How could flexible shoulders make it easier? Write down one task you'd love to do more comfortably, and let that be your inspiration. Sarah's back to baking with joy, and you can find that same spark. What's one thing you'd love to do with looser shoulders? Stiff joints don't have to define your life after 60. Today, we've explored 5 simple, gentle exercises to keep your joints flexible and your body moving. Gentle morning stretches, chair-based leg swings, wrist and ankle circles, seated spine twists, and arm reaches. Each one is designed to fit into your life, whether you're a beginner or just looking to stay active, and can be done at home with nothing more than a chair and a bit of space. Think about Margaret dancing with her grandkids, Tom playing catch, Joe knitting for charity, Alan tending his roses, and Sarah baking scones. They all found ways to stay active and do what they love, one small movement at a time. These exercises aren't just about your joints. They're about reclaiming the joy of living fully, chasing a grandchild, tending a garden, or simply moving with less pain. I want you to take a moment and reflect. What's one exercise you're excited to try? Or how do you feel about starting this journey? Maybe it's a morning stretch that feels like a fresh start, or the chair-based leg swings that seem doable during your favorite show. Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and your story might inspire someone else watching. If this video helped you feel hopeful or gave you a new idea to try, please subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a boost. Let's keep moving together, one gentle step at a time. You're stronger than you know, and your joints are ready to thank you. Here's to more days filled with movement, joy, and the things that make your heart sing.